Namaste, good morning, good evening, wherever you are. Today I am talking about 5E lesson plan that I have developed together with Chikaram sir, and we have tested that in a field trip. And after that, we wrote narratives based on that, and based on that narratives, we have been presenting and discussing in the class. Summary of that is being recorded here for the purpose of this assignment and also for anybody who is interested into learning how to use your how to use your how to use your whole highway lesson plan in real practice. So without further ado, let me get into the discussions of this topic. So actually, we did this in the group also later in multiple places. So in the main objectives of the curriculum that we have from the Curriculum Development Center is that in Nepali, it is written here in social studies, and we are looking for social justice as a goal, and there we are talking about our dowry system as a chapter. यस विषयका अध्ययनबाट असल नागरिक भई सफल जीवनयापन गर्न विद्यार्थीलाई मद्दत पुग्नेछ। यसका साथ यस विषय मार्फत असल आचरण निर्माण, अनुशासन, जिम्मेवारी, सहयोग, सहकारी, शान्ति, प्रेम, सहानुभूति, विश्वास, भाइचारा र विश्व बन्धुत्व जस्ता मानवीय मूल्यलाई व्यावहारिक रूपमा विकास गराउने उद्देश्य राखेको छ। विविधताका सम्मान, सामाजिक न्यायका आत्मसात एवं समावेशिताका मूल्य विकास गराउने लक्ष्य पनि यस पाठ्यक्रममा राखेको छ। This kind of high level understanding of the society and then so on and so forth has been enshrined in the Curriculum Development Center objective for this subject of social studies. Linking to that, we have actually developed together with these friends at that time in the classroom also, and we have derived these to enhance understanding about our culture as a learning outcome, and to explore, perhaps here we apply the knowledge into solving some of the social injustices in Nepal, like dowry system, and to empower students to from social campaign with the aim to abolish dowry system. These are the three very plausible ideas that we have actually developed further from the field trip that afterwards when we're discussing in the classrooms with the group work. And beyond that, what we have also done was where we were looking for hard skills and soft skills that it can actually generate when you actually use 5 lesson plan and also link that dowry system related ideas into your discussions and further elaboration. Soft skills are many compared to the hard skills, of course. Hard skills can be developed in this process also. And then we link that also with the revised Bloom's cognitive learning domain. And the two domains one is your cognitive learning domain, and another one is your affective learning domain. In cognition also, it is remembering, understanding, applying, analyzing, evaluating, and creating. All of those are actually influenced by this 5 lesson plan. I'll show you how the lesson plan actually works later. And then beyond that also, it has affective domain, not only the cognition that is mainly from this side of cognitive learning, but also beyond that into affective learning, where you have receiving, responding, valuing, organization, and characterization also is possible to build. And we'll see that through the process. And it also touches upon STEM approach. It uses science, technology, engineering, arts, and mathematics into the whole lesson plan. And teacher's role is normally in this kind of lesson plan and facilitation is facilitator and motivator only. And then also students are self-motivated to explore, to engage, and then to have explanations and discussions in class, and also get out of the classroom and then do something beyond in the field, and then do some campaign later on. We have planned this as a formative assessment. We'll show you how the evaluation is done in reality also. And that's kind of amazing to see how this kind of simple 5 lesson plan can become transdisciplinary approach beyond single discipline like social studies to multidisciplinary and then also transdisciplinary approach it can be here. Here we have actually requested students to let's take the students to a marriage ceremony to observe, take pictures, videos, and have conversation with the bride and bridegroom to understand the dowry system. That way, they will be actually using multidisciplinary and interdisciplinary knowledge together of the dowry system that we have developed. We have actually used as a case. They can actually write a reflective journal based on the rubric provided by the teacher. We will actually discuss later in the evaluation part. Present it in the class, or even make a blog or newspaper article, TikTok video to build awareness about girls' education, social justice, and other relevant issues supported by the students. So that way, this operationalization of this transdisciplinary approach is done. All of these concepts are done in 5 lesson plan, right? In 5 lesson plan, how we actually thought this is actually helping us to understand is if we start with the normal no 5 lesson plan, that is traditional lesson plan, then this is disciplinary. But when you get into 5A, you slowly get into multi, inter, and transdisciplinary engagement. And when we go through a step-by-step approach in the next presentation, in the following section, we'll understand how these are embedded. Of course, knowledge of domain is needed. We have to build that further with the multidiscipline and interdiscipline, and then also transdisciplinary, right? So that's kind of the idea and evaluation. I will show you how we aim to do that later, and then also this evaluation is all of this presentation skills, analytical skills, content knowledge, like a dowry system, design skills for social campaigns, and writing skills are developed. And this is how the rubrics was actually designed. 90 to 100% outstanding, 80 to 90% excellent, 60 to 80% good, and developing 40 to 60% is only developing. We do not have this failure or like not passing the exam kind of thing. So if you look into this, borrowed from the class and also discussions with the other people, to look into this dowry system lesson plan, it looks like this in 5E system, 5E lesson plan. So if the first phase is engagement, here the students will be actually getting direction from the teacher. Teacher will provide the topic for students study. In the stage, students will be watching a brief film, reading a text related to social issues, practice in the locality, and get insights about it. But after that, they have short discussion, and then also they start asking questions and dig more about social issues. That's engagement. This can happen also before the class. They can also have learning from some videos or some kind of reading material or anything that is available in the textbook. And then after that, in the exploration phase, during this stage, students will begin to show a deeper interest to explore more about the topic and issues. And we, as a teacher, we actually guide them to actually facilitate the discussions with clips, video clips, musical poem, musical systems, or even further with the images and then also some text to read. It's just make observations, record findings, surf the internet, and perform connections while practicing and refining their creative thinking abilities. Here they will be actually having group work, and also they are working in individual phase. They might even go to this marriage event that we have discussed just now, or similar thing like later we get that as an extended assignment, but still here also they can actually explore that way also. And in explanation phase, teachers will further explain the content and the students will synthesize the ideas. And teachers will explain to students with the support of deeper questions and other educational supporting materials. And teacher will link up the ideas with the STEAM also, like how science, technology, engineering, arts, and mathematics can be used to understand all of these dowry systems and social justice and other issues in the past. And then the teachers will ask them deeper questions while students actually answer those questions. Students listen to them and acknowledge on the topics which will deepen their understanding. And students will link up the issues and ideas, all the subjects, right? In all topics also kind of how to understand scientific facts, how to actually use numbers in analyzing the dowry data, and then also how the society is being transformed from the wrong direction to the right direction, or vice versa. It can be because dowry system has not gone away in any sense since the issues have been raised in the public and also in media. So they will also follow that activity. They explain to each other in the class and then also present in the class. In the elaboration phase, this is the point where they actually do the visit of the place of the marriage event ceremony, and then they can also come up with the assignments requested, like poem or some kind of TikTok video or anything that they can get to build the awareness, and then also use STEAM pedagogy, like understanding uh, the dowry products and also the ornaments, and then also the other issues like other materials, like all the things they have been using in a dowry system from science-based background understanding. Then in technology, they will be understanding video filming, they will be understanding other technologies used in the event, and then also trying to understand how technology has enabled the process of marriage and so on and so forth. In engineering, they might be interested to understand how those dowry products are actually the gifts, also called the bribes in a sense in social some norms, is actually given, and how they are made, how they are manufactured, what kind of things are actually used in gold processing, and then also how they can actually understand how the ornaments are made. In engineering, they can learn that kind of idea to understand this whole process. And then also they can use arts, they can write poems, they can think of the artistic approach in the whole marriage process, and also dowry system. And then mathematics, they can use like the calculations like what is the family's total income, and then how actually the income is actually being used in dowry system, whether it's sustainable or not. So these kind of informations can be used. And they write or poem, or they can actually have this. So further in the discussions, they can also come up with TikTok video, they can have a campaign, they can have Google sites, and they can also actually write reflective diaries. This is also on the evaluation phase. However, evaluation is more formative, and then it is like enough. If we have something like this kind of evaluation rubric, like for the project work, you can have planning phase, progress phase, documentation phase, presentation phase, and then marks given here, and so on and so forth. You can give the range, like what is the highest and what is the lowest in this class, and 1, 2, 3, 4, like all the criteria here you can give, like in how you actually want to see this one. Like low is 1, 2 is upper low, 3 is medium, and 4 is high. So that is the idea actually you can get from this kind of scoring. Similarly, if you are actually using presentation as evaluation, here you can also use this kind of rubric, like quality of the presentation report, voice inflections, eye contact, prepared limit, time limit, content, body gesture, enthusiasm, clear speaking, creativity, and feedback. This way, our rubrics is actually pretty strong. This was actually borrowed from a friend in Australia, so copyrights was to him. This way, we are able to actually build up the whole lesson plan from the perspective of the curriculum, and then also from the perspective of linking that into real life scenario, and then making this transdisciplinary rather than only disciplinary and multidisciplinary or interdisciplinary. It is actually made into the highest degree. That is this diagram as a summary, right? So we need disciplines nowadays. We can have multidisciplinary learning, but we have to go beyond into interdisciplinary and ultimately to project presentations, learning explorations, applying in the field, having a campaign, and so on and so on. Thank you for listening. This much I had in my plan for to discuss today. We'll continue the process of exploring this domain in the future as well. If you like this video, just like my YouTube channel also, and then further, if you have have questions, you can reach me from LinkedIn, Facebook, and all the Twitter channels as well. Thank you for listening.